Hey everybody, this is Bond Diesel, and I am bringing you the second episode of my Intel Insights series, where I'm going to go over all of the new West Side Pier Intel by playing through an entire set and then discussing it a little bit. The first one was about Clark, Agent Clark, the rogue, who was talking about why she went rogue and kind of how all that works. And now I'm going to bring you the story of Cardozo, try mispronouncing that, in the Come Together series. So here we go.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? I don't suppose anyone can. Not really, not anymore. Not with the city and the state it's in. And my little piece of it. That's what I want to talk about. My neighborhood. My name is Sara Cardozo, and this is my story. This was a good neighborhood. A nice neighborhood. People looked out for each other when they had troubles. It was that way too, after the green poison first hit, at least for a while. We took care of each other because it was the decent human thing to do. We watched what was going on elsewhere, and we were proud that we weren't like that. At least, we didn't start out like that. Lately, I don't know. People are leaving. They're drifting away. The neighborhood is changing. People are focusing more on taking care of themselves. I don't blame them. There's this feeling in the air, this idea that things can't stay like this forever, and that they're going to get worse before they get better. So I think things are going to get worse real soon now. There we are. I knew something bad was coming. There was a man walking down the street in a hazmat suit with, and I cannot believe this, a flamethrower. Every time he saw a body, he turned to it, and it was horrible. He did that to every dead body. And then, when he saw a girl out looking for food, Elizabeth, the Hirsch girl, he tried to burn her too. Thankfully, she got away, but my God, what kind of sicko do you have to be to want to torch a child? Well, the man with the flamethrower isn't alone. They call him and his kind cleaners. How do I know? Because soldiers came marching down my block and announced that the neighborhood, my neighborhood, was under the protection of the Last Man Battalion, and that if we knew what was good for us, we'd behave. Someone asked a few questions, and that's how we found out about the cleaners, and about those nasty Rikers, too. The island's more dangerous than I thought. Okay, there is no explanation for this. None whatsoever. I heard one of those awful cleaners coming down the street and hid in here so he wouldn't see me and decide to set me on fire. Two of those men in the LMB uniforms went out to meet him. They had guns. Guns! And you think they'd tell him to stop, wouldn't you? I mean, the way he's going, he could burn the entire borough down. But what do? They start joking with him. One even lights a cigarette, filthy habit, on the flamethrower, and then the three of them march off together like they're the best of friends. I don't understand it. I just don't. But I'm going to follow them and try to find out what's going on. Okay, I'm following. They're marching back towards that car wash, the one with the fancy new neon sign. I don't think they've seen me, but they've joined up with more soldiers, and some of those criminals, and a couple more cleaners. They're all laughing and having a good time, which is good for me, because they're not looking around to see if anyone's behind them. This is a terrible risk I'm taking. I should just go home right now. I should just run before they notice me. I should...
And so there we have the beginning and end of Sarah Cardazo. And again, this is another one where I don't feel like there's any huge story implications here. I think they're kind of trying to show the view of all of the factions coming together for their reasons in the West Side Piers into a neighborhood that I imagine before this happened was relatively safe, and that maybe all of the chaos, especially closer to the dark zone, hadn't reached these people yet. And it kind of seems like maybe they were kind of protected from all the chaos until, of course, all of the people showed up doing what they were doing on the West Side Piers, which I'll talk about in a different video. The I mean, obviously, she meets her demise when she tries to follow these guys and see what they're up to. Um, I think it's interesting from a civilian's point of view to see that, even she kind of thought like, oh well, these Last Man Battalion guys, I don't really like them being here, but at least they are, here to protect or to keep, everything civilized. And then she sees them interact with all of the other factions and kind of, realizes that maybe that's not the case, especially um, with the cleaners who, from many of the intels, you kind of get the feeling from people that they really recognize them as being like complete sociopaths. So I think her story is interesting in the sense that it's fun to hear that civilian point of view. I don't really feel like she gives any input that like kind of blows your mind or anything. I feel like this is just kind of pure some story that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But I like it. I'm glad to get that kind of stuff because that was some of the types of stories I really enjoyed in the original game and even now. So I am curious actually too if that Hirsch girl is actually someone from another one of the recordings. I don't think it is though, but another person who's speaking to her grandmother tells a similar story about being followed while she's trying to find food. So it seems like kind of that dread and kind of that desperation is a bit of a theme in these civilian-based intels as opposed to some of the other ones. And you can see a boat out there. So I won't let my OCD get too crazy here. So this was episode 2 of a series I'm calling Intel Insights, based on the Division 1.8 West Side Piers update. And the new intel there. Like I said, I may end up actually going back to the old ones and doing the same thing with those and talking about how they have to do with the story. I'm going to try to release these maybe once or twice a week. And, maybe one day we can look back on them and connect it to a sequel and see how some of my insights and others' insights connect to the future of this game. So if you liked what you saw, please drop a subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up, drop a comment down in the comments, say something to me on Twitter. I'll list my Twitter, Twitch, other ways of getting a hold of me information down below in the description. And until the next one, I hope you guys have an incredible day. Thank you.